it's Casey with Russo Resells. For those of you who don't know, I am a full-time online reseller on platforms like Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. And today we're going to be going through my sales that I had for the last couple days. I did go ahead and leave off on Sunday. So after I left off on Sunday, I had 2 more sales that day that I'm going to feature today. And then yesterday, Monday, September 22nd, I had 9 sales. So I do this full time, and my old 9-to-5 job actually kept me on as a per diem employee. So I was there yesterday, and that's why I did not hop on. But I'm happy that I did so, and I'm filming today because, like you see, I have 9 sales that were or went through yesterday. So it's going to be great to go ahead and package those up today and get them out to the post office. I have about 30 minutes until I need to be out the door, so I am going to try to rapid fire these to you. Thank you so very much for joining, and let's get into the sales. So the first sale that I had are these lot of 2. They're hard candy. They're like a sparkle eyeliner. I got these years ago for, I want to say like 25 cents each at a clearance, either like Walmart or Dollar Tree. And I have these listed. I have, I want to say 6 or 7 more left, pair of 2. I have them all listed at $7.99, and the buyer offered me $6.50, which I did accept. I had free shipping on this item. It cost me $4.80 to ship, and my fees to eBay were $1.18, which left me with a whopping 52 cents. So obviously not something I would recommend picking up if you saw them. I have had them for a couple years. However, most of you would ask, why do you even have them listed? I feel like they are a great closet filler, and as you saw, or if you had seen one of my last videos, a buyer went ahead and bundled those with a sweater, and I was able to ship them out together. So A, they're a great closet filler, and B, they boost me up in the eBay algorithm. So I do go ahead and put lower price items along with higher price items because not everyone is looking for the most expensive items to buy. We're all looking for a deal. Tangent aside, let's get through the next and final sale of Sunday, which is this beautiful, it's by the brand Aqua. It's like this cobalt blue v-neck, 100% cashmere long sleeve sweater, just simply gorgeous. Now this brand was very popular when I first started reselling, and it has since then fallen off. I would not recommend picking it up. However, this is 100% cashmere, so that's why I did pick it up. And it was about $2.99 at the Salvation Army sale. So that is another reason why I picked it up. I had it listed on eBay for $24.99 plus $7 shipping. A buyer offered me $20 plus $7 shipping, which I did accept. My shipping cost was $4.49. I had this item promoted, so those fees were $1.71, and my fees to eBay were $4.03, which left me with a whopping profit of $16.77. Very happy with that return, especially only paying $2.99 for that item. Moving along to yesterday's sales on Monday. Usually Tuesdays are now my big sale days, but it looks like yesterday really picked up, and I'm very happy about that. So I had these, let me see if I could, yeah, they're a big patch. They are Arctics. And these are these awesome green and yellow snow pants, brand new. I found these at a Amazon return center, so I went ahead and I picked them up for $5. It was $5 day. Very happy with that, but that was like 2 years ago, and I hadn't been able to sell them until now. And it's only because I accepted a half off offer. and I've had them for 2 years, so I was happy to do so. I only paid $5, another reason why I was happy to do so. I had them listed on Poshmark for $40. A buyer offered me $20, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $4, and I was left with $16. So $5 into $16, not something I would write home about or even wait 2 years for, but I'm happy that I didn't end up redonating them or sending them to ThredUp because I was left with about a $10 to $11 profit. I'm very happy with that. Now, the next item came out of my husband's closet. This is by John Varvatos, which is a great brand. And this he's had since high school, and he has worn holes through it. There are literally, I don't know if you can see, 2 little holes under the piece. And I did go ahead and disclose that. Otherwise, it's still in great condition. But because of the holes, I had it listed for $25, and a buyer offered me $12 on Poshmark. I did go ahead and accept that offer. My fees to Poshmark were $2.95, and from something in my husband's closet that he was no longer going to wear, we made $9.05, which I am not going to complain about, and I am very happy to get rid of his high school wardrobe. As you guys can tell, I really wasn't messing around. I am really rapid firing these, so let's move right along. The next item I have is by Anthropology. And it is this really cute, like lavendery gold floral printed mosaic, like crop top. I just could not pass this up for $2.99. So I bought it, and I had it listed on Poshmark for $25. I had a buyer offer me $18, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $3.60, and I was left with a profit of $14.40. Very happy with that sale. It did take about 7 to 8 months to sell, so not a really fast mover, and I did have it reasonably priced, so it just took the right buyer, also because it was a size 6, which is a smaller size, so definitely keep that into account when picking up those types of items. Now, the next item is incredible. This is Free People. And this I found at a half off Salvation Army sale. I probably paid $4 or $5 for it. And I believe, so just look at how beautiful like this plaid is. You can see it does have a bleach stain right there. One of the reasons why I did list it reasonably. And I believe that a person, I believe it's getting caught on something. I think that somebody did have this, like, this was placed at the end of a rack, and I think somebody had placed it there to put it back because of the flaws. So it had that bleach stain, and it also had right here at the collar, there was a giant hole right here. So I did the best I could, and I tried to mend it. It actually looks really great. I should have kept this for myself because this is also a size large, which I feel is a unicorn size to find a Free People in the thrift store. But I thought it was worth the $4 to $5. I know that other person didn't, but that is okay with me because it sold for me. I had it listed for $40 on Poshmark, and a buyer offered me $28, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5.60, and I was left with $22.40. I really hope that this buyer appreciates and sees what I saw in this piece, because I really do believe, yes, it is flawed, but it still has a lot of life left in it. So I really do hope that they enjoy that. Now, the next item I was reluctant to find at a $2.99 sale, and I think it's because no one really knew what this was. It's just like a basic gray quarter zip. But of course, I felt it, and I just knew that it had to be none other than our tried and true Lululemon. So I saw that for $2.99. I instantly put it in my cart, Yes, it's basic, but I knew that I could at least get $20 to $25 for it, which I did. So I had it listed at 40. A buyer offered me 25, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5 and I was left with $20, and I am extremely happy with that profit. Now is the time, as you can see, to get your fall and winter items listed because they are finally selling. This next piece is great. I also found this at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale. It's a Banana Republic. It's like this turtleneck long sleeve. So you can see it's a little wrinkly. Sorry about that. You know, stays in your inventory long enough. Well, this one was only in my inventory for about like 4 to 5 months actually, but beautiful color. And you're thinking to yourself, why the heck did you pick that up? It's so basic. And the reason why I picked it up is because it is a silk and cashmere blend, and I just could not leave it behind. So I had it listed on eBay for $24.99 plus $5 shipping, and it had stuck around for about 4 to 5 months, and I finally received an offer for $15 plus $5 shipping, and I didn't want to sit on it any longer because of how basic it is, and I accepted that offer. So it cost me $6.02 to ship. My fees to eBay were $3.04, and I made $10.94 on just a very basic capsule piece. Love, love, love that. High quality materials, and I really hope that the buyer enjoys that piece because it is simply fantastic. Now, another kind of basic piece by J. Crew. This is vintage, and it is this Y2K kind of cable knit long sleeve in just this beautiful like tan color. Very capsule, very old money, and this is 100% linen. So as you can see, the trend here is great materials: silk, cashmere, linen, wool. Those types of materials always will sell for you if you market them appropriately. So I only had this listed for 2 days, and I was worried about this item because it didn't really show up as great as it did in person on photos. So I did list it a little lower because of this, and I listed it at 28. A buyer offered me 25 on Poshmark 2 days later, which I totally accepted. My fees on Poshmark were $5, and I was left with 20. And I just picked that up for $5.50 plus 20% off. So about, I want to say $4 into 20 in 2 days. I will take those types of sales every single day. Now, last but not least, we have a couponing. Actually, we have 2 more sales. So second, last but not least, we have this lot of secret deodorants from my couponing. And I had these listed on eBay for $17.99 plus free shipping, and a buyer offered me $14, which I did accept. So it cost me $7.10 to ship these items. My promotional fees, because I did have these items promoted, were 76 cents, and my fees to eBay were $2.32. I had about $2 into this whole lot, and my profit was $3.82. So very happy with that, and that money will be going back into my couponing fund. Now, I purposely saved this next item for last because I've had this in my inventory for over a year. And what I've done recently in this No Source September is I've gone into my list perfectly to my very last page, to my oldest and stalest inventory, and I have really gone through those items with a fine-tooth comb. I've made a couple boxes and sent a couple off to some of my YouTubers that I know and love and watch. And I also made a huge box and sent it over to ThredUp. But other items that I thought had definite potential that maybe at the time I didn't know how to market correctly, I went in, I revamped them, made sure the pictures were appropriate, that the keywords were there, and I've been slowly but surely making sales because of that. So this item is also one of those items. And if you can tell by that logo, these are UFOs. And as you can see, they're just a plain black sandal, but they're in fantastic condition. And I want to say the Salvation Army had these priced anywhere from $5.99 to $7.99, so I did pick them up, but I didn't have great photos and I had them listed for $40. So what I did is I went ahead and went to ChatGPT and I had ChatGPT revamp my stock photo. I did that and then I reworded the description a little bit and I dropped the price to $30. Lo and behold, 2 or 3 days later, I got an offer for $25 from a buyer and I did accept. So my fees to Poshmark were $5 and I was left with $20. I'm very happy with the sale. This is an item that would have just gone to ThredUp or be redonated or sent to a different reseller, but I knew they had potential and I knew that if I just did the little work that took maybe 5 minutes to do and relisted them, that they would sell. So I highly encourage that any and all of you watching do that if you are struggling with your stale items. Now, it's about 10:10. I have an appointment at 10:30, so I'm going to get these packaged up and take them with me so I can drop them off at the post office. I already apologize in advance that I was going super fast today. I may have mixed up some words. I may have said some things incorrectly, but you know what? We live and we learn. I am trying to just do this as authentically as I can. I really appreciate you guys being here, and we will be back probably tomorrow or not the next day because I am working per diem again, but either tomorrow or Friday, I'll be back with you to show you what all else sells. Have a great week, guys. Hey all, it is now Thursday, September 25th, and I am jumping on to show you what sold for the rest of the day on Tuesday, September 23rd, yesterday, Wednesday, September 24th, and I had 2 sales already today, and it's only 9:30 in the morning. Very pleased with that. On Tuesday, when we left off, we only had 3 more sales that afternoon, and yesterday I only had 2 sales. And the reason why I say only is because I think I've been shadow banned on eBay simply because of I had mentioned earlier or in an earlier what sold video that a buyer who purchased something said that the color that I had described it as was not so. I'll go ahead and pop it up right here. She thought that this blue express top was gray. And so, we kind of messaged back and forth. And finally, what I had decided is that I was going to refund her the money. I didn't want her to send it back, and I blocked her from my account. I just think that was the best course of action, and I haven't heard anything from her. It's been a couple of days now, and I know that I blocked her, but she hasn't left any negative feedback, hasn't done anything, and I also reported her to eBay. So I think that eBay took that and they basically shadow banned me, so I haven't had a lot of sales on eBay. I've actually had 2 sales on Mercari, which is kind of crazy, but we're going to go ahead and hop through these sales. Sorry for the little tangent. That is just my little theory that I have working on right now. But hopefully my eBay sales pop back up. Let's go ahead and get into what sold. Okay, so the first item that sold is this J. Crew. It is new with tags, 100% cotton, kind of like this brat green, or I think that's what they call it these days. It's just this knit sweater. It is a size extra large, which is a great size. And I actually got that at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale. Very happy about that. It was on a newer rack. So I had this listed on Poshmark for $30, and my Posher VA sent out a 20% off offer without discounted shipping for $24, and the buyer did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $4.80, and I was left with a profit of $19.20. So great profit for an item that I only paid $3 for. Next, we have a pair of tried and true figs. I don't know if you could see, yeah, right there. And then this is the tag. They are new with tag, and they're just these really nice charcoal joggers. They are actually, they have it right on there. They are the Zamora 2.0 joggers. So very nice, that heathered gray, very comfy. And I believe I got those at Savers for about $10. So I had them priced for $38 on Poshmark, and a lovely buyer sent me a $27 offer, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5.40, and I was left with $21.60. Very, very happy with that return. Now, the next item I sold is this beautiful Yadro little girl with a puppy, just so cute, sitting on a rock. And this is, let me see if you, I don't know if it's even on there, handmade in Spain, but that's kind of the stamp right there. Usually it does say Yadro, so I'm not sure why it says some, or no, it does in just like really tiny writing right there. So I saw a lot of these listed, so my pricing strategy was to obviously price it at the lowest point possible, and I had this listed on Mercari for $49.99 plus free ship. A buyer offered me $36.75, which I did accept. My fees to Mercari were $3.67. My shipping was $10, and I was left with a profit of $23.08. Very happy with that, as I only had about $10 into it. And if any of you are wondering about these red splotches on my neck, sorry, when I touch my neck, it turns red. I don't know if anyone else has that, but just ignore it for right now. Sorry, it's bothering me, so I'm sure somebody else is seeing it. The next item that I had to sell was this Lily Pulitzer. I did get this from Boutique by the Box, so they did put a sticker over it. But this is a size small, just beautiful blue floral midi dress. Very, very pretty. And since we're going out of season and it is a size small, I did price accordingly. I put it up on Poshmark for $40, and a buyer offered me $30. So my Poshmark fees were $6, and I was left with $24. So I about doubled my initial investment, and I'm pretty happy with that. Very fast flip, and we are going out of the season, so I'm happy to move it along. Now the next item is this Tucker, and as you can tell, this is probably selling for the season, fall and Halloween. It is this V-neck, 100% silk, black and orange polka dot blouse. Just gorgeous, in great condition too. The silk, you can tell, was dry cleaned. I know that some pieces I had that I no longer pick up, they're like that wash silk, like you could tell someone threw it in the washer. This is a very crisp, very nice. The previous owner definitely took care of it. So I had it listed on eBay for $49.93 plus $5 shipping, and a buyer came in and paid outright for it, which we love. The shipping cost $4.60. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $3.60, and my fees to eBay were $8.03, which left me with a profit of $38.61. And I definitely paid anywhere from $5 to $10 for that at Savers. Very, very happy that this sold full price. Okay, two more items that sold this morning. So the first one is, I just showed this in a haul. It is by Tucker Neck, and it is just this beautiful red long sleeve, like just ruffle hem dress. Very, very cute, especially for the coming holiday. Just adorable. So I had this listed for $80, and a buyer offered me $45. I just listed this, I want to say 2 or 3 days ago, so I did counter to $60, and then they sent me back an offer of $50, which I did accept. Now, everyone is probably going to go crazy, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you accepted that offer. But hear me out. I only had it listed for 2 or 3 days, and I am more than doubling my money. So, very happy with that. And the comp suggested that it sold anywhere from 40 to 60. So, I had already inflated my price in order to get the $50 to $60 offer. So I am very happy with that. My fees to Poshmark were $10 and I ended up with $40. So I paid about $16 for that. So a little bit over doubling my money. I am very happy with that return in 2 or 3 days. I would take that every single day. Now, the last item is this lovely Athleta. It's just this purple crop shirt. And I know that this is very basic. However, it seemed like a newer piece. So I did go ahead and grab it, and it was only $2.99. So I figured that the risk wasn't going to be that big if it did sit or it didn't sell. So I had this listed on Mercari for $21.99, and a buyer offered me $17.25, which I did accept. My fees to Mercari were $1.72, and it cost me $5.02 to ship. So I turned $2.99 into $10.51. Very, very happy with that profit. Now, we went through all the items. I am going to get them packaged up and sent out on my way to work. But I did want to mention that for this Yadro piece, I am going to be bubble wrapping it, putting it in a box, then putting that box inside a box with a bunch of packing paper around it just to make sure it arrives there safely. I know that a lot of other YouTubers have videos on how to package things. I'm not quite there yet, but I did want to go ahead and disclose that information if you had questions. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I'll be back, I want to say, in the next couple days to show you what all else sells. Have a great day, guys. Hey y'all, welcome back. So today is Saturday, September 27th, and we're going to go through the rest of the sales that I had on Thursday, September 25th, and yesterday, September 26th. I did not hop on yesterday because it was my late mother's birthday, and I decided to take the day off because it was already going to be a very emotional day, and I just wanted a day to sit down, reflect, enjoy with my family, so on and so forth. So on Thursday when we left off, we had 5 more sales. Yesterday I only had 2 sales because, like I said, I was just not active on any of my platforms. I didn't relist. I didn't list anything. I was just pretty much radio silent on my platforms, and I am perfectly okay with that. And today I did have 5 sales, and it is only 10:30 in the morning. So we definitely have a lot to get through. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, this first sale that I have, and please excuse my hair. I played tennis this morning and I am barely surviving on 1 cup of coffee. So I will get myself together later, but not for this video. I have this Patagonia. It is very washed and very used, and I did put that in the description. It's just this basic gray long sleeve. It does have the logo right there, but I did pick it up because it was, I want to say, less than $5, and it was a linen hemp blend. So I did want to pick that up. I actually posted it according to the conditions, so I only posted it for $24.99 plus $5 shipping on eBay, and a buyer offered me $17 plus $5 ship, which I did accept. It cost me $7.10 to ship. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $1.10. And my fees to eBay were $3.19, so I made a profit of $10.61. Very happy to get that going to a good home because it does still have a lot of life left in it. Now, the second piece is by Corey Lynn Coulter, and this is a brand that is sometimes sold at Anthropologie. I'm not sure if this piece was, but I did pick it up because of the pattern. So it is a V-neck, long sleeve, kind of midi dress, and it is in a size 2X, so great, great size, and perfect for the fall that we are jumping into. So I did list it a little lower than comp suggested because I did want it to move this fall and winter holiday. So I listed it at $35 on Poshmark. I did have a buyer offer me $24, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $4.80, and I was left with about $19.20. Now, the next item that I had to sell is by a brand called Hani, and I didn't get this piece because of the brand. This I actually found at the Goodwill outlet bins, and I got it because it is just this beautiful embroidered, I mean, look at how amazing that is, like kind of crepe midi dress, and I just thought it was such an incredible piece. So I did want to go ahead and pick it up, especially at the bins. So I only paid about $1 or $2 for that, and I had it priced on eBay very reasonably because we are going out of the summer season. So I priced it at $21.99 plus $7 shipping, and I sent out a 22% off offer to all watchers, and a buyer did accept. That cost was $17.15 plus $7 shipping, and it cost me $5.91 to ship. My fees to eBay were $3.66, and I was left with a profit of $14.58. Great little bins pickup, great little closet filler. We definitely love to see it, and I'm happy that I don't have to wait another year to get it out of my store and or closet. Now, the next item is by Hatley, and this is a sub-brand. I think it's called Little Blue House. And these I just had to pick up because they were at a half off Salvation Army sale, so I got them for about $4.50 or $5, and they're just this really cute camo with the moose print on them. Perfect for the holiday season. So I went ahead and picked these up, and I priced them reasonably to sell. So they were priced at $24.98 plus $5 shipping, and a buyer came in and paid full price. So it cost me $6.02 to ship. My fees to eBay were $4.47, and I turned my $4 to $5 into $19.49. The last item that sold on Thursday came from my couponing closet, and it is this Neutrogena on the spot like cream, I want to say. And I had that priced at $9.99 plus free shipping, and a buyer went in and paid full price for it. It cost me $4.80 to ship, and my fees to eBay were $1.74, making my total profit $3.45. Probably have $1 into that, and that money is just going right back into my couponing fund. So love to see those items sell. Now, this next one is by Athleta or Athleta, however you want to pronounce it. And it is kind of like this dusty lavender long sleeve button up. This is a 2X, I believe. Yeah, 2X. And it's just a really great closet staple. I mean, you could probably wear this. Athleta is known for their athletic wear, but you could probably wear this into the office. You dress it up or dress it down. So I had this very reasonably priced at $24.98 plus $7 shipping, and a buyer came in and paid full price for it. My shipping cost was $6.02. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $2.07, and my fees to eBay were $4.78, so my total profit was $19.11, and I probably have anywhere from $5 to $10 into that. I'm very happy with that sale. Then I found these on a $2.99 Salvation Army sale day. They're by 511 Tactical, and they are these awesome like green tactical shorts for men. And these were a smaller size, so I wanted to price them according to that in case I, had any offers on them, which I didn't. A buyer came in and paid full price, which I'm very happy with. I had them priced at $27.96 plus $7 shipping, and the shipping cost for me was $10.50. My fees to eBay were $5.05, and my profit was $19.41. So turning $3 into $19 is very bread and butter for me. I am very happy with that return. I probably only had those for a month or two. Both the Athleta blouse and the 511 tactical shorts sold yesterday, Friday, September 26th. So now we're getting into our sales for this morning, Saturday the 27th. And the first sale I had is this beautiful J. Crew 100% cashmere, like pink striped sweater. Very adorable. I got this off of ThredUp for about $10, and I had it priced at $28 on Poshmark. A buyer offered me $21, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $4.20, and my profit was $16.80. I've only had that for about a month or two, so very happy to get it moving. Now, this item is J. Lindeberg, and this is just a beautiful, like, cranberry fuchsia golf tennis polo. This brand is very, very expensive in retail stores, and I bought it on a $2.99 Salvation Army sale or a half off Salvation Army sale. I really don't remember, but I have about anywhere from $2 to $5 into it. And I had it priced on Mercari for $31.99, and on Mercari I do have the auto drop in price. So it was dropped to $27 even, and a buyer came in and paid that full price. So I did use Pirate Ship to go ahead and create my shipping label because I do offer free shipping on Mercari. And my cost to ship was $5.02. My fees to Mercari were $2.70. So I flipped a $2 to $5 item into $19.28. That is a great, great golf brand. So I'm very excited for this buyer to get a great, great price on it. Now, I did have this Tory Sport listed for almost actually over a year, and as you can tell, it's not outdated. I want to say it's just a very interesting piece that it's going to take the right buyer for, because it does remind me of Vector and Despicable Me. I'm going to put up a picture right here. That's what it reminded me of, and I'm thinking that it sold this time around because of that reason. I think someone is probably going to use this for a Halloween costume. So I had this listed. First, I had it listed at $80, and then I just recently dropped the price to $49.99 plus $10 ship on eBay, and a buyer offered me $21 plus $10 ship. I accepted because it's been listed for over a year, and I just want to get it out of my inventory. I haven't had any other interested buyers, so it's time to get it out. It was free to me from my mother-in-law, which I'm very, very pleased with. So it cost me $8.19 to ship. My fees to eBay were $4.65, and I turned a free item into a profit of $18.16. Now, my last two items just go to show to list your holiday, fall, and winter items because they are selling. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, and I keep saying that, but I'm only saying it because it's true and because that's what I'm seeing in my closet. So I did get this piece. So this is Banana Republic. It's a linen blend. It's a very nautical ivory and navy striped sweater for men. I got this at the Los Angeles Goodwill outlet bins, and I probably paid anywhere from $2 to $3 because of the weight of this item. I had it listed on Poshmark for $28. A buyer this morning offered me $20, and I did accept. My fees were $4, and my profit on Poshmark was $16. So very happy turning $2 to $3 into $16. Now, my last item I got at a half off Salvation Army sale, probably for $4 or $5. And it is this Eloquii like faux leather moto jacket. This thing is in beautiful, beautiful condition. Even the hardware is just really, really great, not scratched up at all. And when I got home and looked up this item, I was a little disappointed because it was so saturated. So I decided to list mine under what comp suggested, which was about $50 to $60. I listed mine at $42. My Posher VA sent out a 20% off offer without discounted shipping, and that was $34, and a buyer accepted this morning. My fees to Poshmark were $6.80, and I turned that initial $4 to $5 investment into $27.20. Very, very happy with that. I really appreciate you guys coming along with me and hanging in there until the very end of this video. I know that it was a long one, but because of my working per diem and my mother's birthday yesterday, you know, the week was a little rougher than usual. As always, again, I'm going to express my appreciation for you guys being here, and I will see you next time. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Now, this wouldn't be a typical Russo Resells video without me opening up something else or coming back with more information. But I did want to show you all the new shipping mailers that I got from Shipping Hip. I did use the code Ginger15 from Ginger Marvin's YouTube channel to get 15% off. So if you are considering buying from Shipping Hip, definitely use that code. They always put in like a little postcard and a little thing basically stating that whoever packed it and that the order's right, all that good stuff. And they always put in like a little sample mailer, which I really appreciate. I did get another roll of thank you so much or happy mail stickers. So got those that I love. And I did get flowers and pumpkins. So I got those, and then I got really big mailers for Poshmark. These are going to fold out to like 10 by 14, I think, and they're just this really pretty floral print. So I thought I'd hop in and show you guys these and definitely let you know of Ginger Marvin's coupon code. Okay, this is it for today's video. I know that I have the rest of shipping to do today and tomorrow Sunday, but I'm probably just going to put that in with my other video for the first half of next week. I know that this week has been really choppy, but sometimes, you know, life happens, and I'm sure you guys all can relate. I really appreciate you guys popping by, and have a great weekend, guys.